Dad wrote this codicil the day before he died. If anyone cuts out his firstborn from family docs, they lose all inheritance. The lawyer's words echoed as Mom's composed face cracked. She'd spent 30 years pretending I didn't exist. But Dad had planned for this since the day she called me the bastard child. The real question: how did he hide a whole secret estate from the woman who controlled everything? My name is Vanessa Cole, and I'm sitting in a mahogany-paneled law office watching my stepfamily learn that karma sometimes comes with legal documentation. The morning started with me reading my father's obituary in the Chicago Tribune. Beloved father of Amanda and Bradley. No mention of his firstborn daughter. Now, 6 hours later, I'm about to inherit everything while the real family who excluded me gets nothing. But let me back up 30 years, because this story of revenge from beyond the grave starts with a 22-year-old secretary and a married executive who promised to leave his wife. My mother, Julia, was young, brilliant, and naive when she started working at my father Richard's investment firm. He was 40, wealthy, and supposedly in a loveless marriage. The oldest story in corporate America, right? Except my mother genuinely believed him when he said he'd file for divorce. She believed him right up until she told him she was pregnant, and he offered her a check and a termination package instead of a wedding ring. To his credit, and I use that term loosely, Richard didn't completely abandon us. He set up child support through his lawyer, paid for my education, and even visited occasionally until I was 5. That's when his wife Catherine found out about me and delivered her ultimatum: cut all contact or lose his real family. He chose them, of course. But the child support continued, always through lawyers, always with the stipulation that we never contact him directly or acknowledge the connection publicly. My mother, hurt but practical, agreed. She used his money to put herself through law school while raising me, eventually becoming a successful environmental attorney who specialized in taking down corporations like the one Richard ran. I grew up knowing my father's name, but not his face after age 5. I knew I had half-siblings, Amanda, 2 years younger than me, and Bradley, 4 years younger, who didn't know I existed. I knew their mother had one, and I was the shameful secret locked away in a legal agreement. What I didn't know was that Richard had been watching from afar all along. The first sign came when I was accepted to Northwestern University. My mother had saved enough for state school, but Northwestern was beyond our reach. Then a merit scholarship appeared, covering everything. The scholarship foundation was vague about selection criteria, but the timing was too perfect to be coincidental. Similar coincidences followed throughout my life. The internship at a top consulting firm that just happened to have an opening. The condo in Lincoln Park that became available at below market rent just when I needed to move. The promotion opportunities that aligned perfectly with my career goals. I suspected Richard's invisible hand, but could never prove it. I built my life without him. Or so I thought. I became a financial advisor, earned my CFP certification, and started my own practice. I dated, had my heart broken, adopted a rescue dog named Max, and created a circle of chosen family who actually wanted me around. I thought I'd made peace with being the erased otter. Then 2 weeks ago, I opened the Tribune to see Richard's obituary. 70 years old, sudden heart attack. Survived by his loving wife Catherine and his 2 children, Amanda and Bradley. His 2 children. Not 3. 2. I told myself it didn't matter. He'd been dead to me for 25 years. What difference did it make if he was actually dead now? But seeing it in print, being officially erased from his existence, hit harder than expected. I wasn't even preceded in death by, or also survived by. I simply didn't exist in the official record of his life. My mother called within an hour. "Honey, I saw the obituary. How are you feeling?" Like I've been photoshopped out of existence, I admitted, which I guess I have been for decades. "Do you want to go to the funeral?" "God, no. Can you imagine?" "Hi. I'm the secret daughter you've pretended doesn't exist. Sorry for your loss." We laughed bitterly, and I thought that was the end of it. Richard was gone, taking his secrets and shame to the grave. His real family could mourn in peace without the inconvenient reminder of his infidelity. Then the letter arrived. It came by certified mail 3 days after the funeral, from a law firm I didn't recognize. Inside was a formal notice requiring my presence at the reading of Richard William Cole's last will and testament. I called the number on the letterhead, certain it was a mistake. I think there's been an error. Richard Cole and I weren't in contact. No error, Miss Cole, the secretary assured me. Your presence is specifically required. In fact, the will cannot be read without you. Which is how I found myself walking into the conference room this morning, facing my stepmother and half-siblings for the first time in 25 years. Catherine looked exactly as I'd imagined, polished, cold, with the kind of facelift that whispered rather than shouted. Amanda was a softer version of her mother, while Bradley had Richard's square jaw and weak chin. Who the hell is she? Bradley demanded as I took my seat. Catherine's face went pale, then red. Nobody. She's nobody. There's been a mistake. No mistake, said Mr. Brennan, the estate attorney. This is Vanessa Cole, Richard's daughter from his relationship with Julia Stephens. Her presence is required for the reading. His what? Amanda gasped, looking between her mother and me. Mom. Your father's bastard, Catherine spat. Though I don't know why she's here. Richard agreed she would never be part of our lives. Technically, Mr. Brennan interjected, he agreed she wouldn't contact you. He made no promises about his estate planning. Before the family drama could escalate, Mr. Brennan opened his briefcase and pulled out a thick folder. Shall we begin? There are actually 2 documents to review. The will filed with the court 20 years ago, and a codicil added 1 week before Richard's death. He read the original will first. Standard stuff. The bulk of the estate to Catherine, generous trusts for Amanda and Bradley, various charitable bequests. The estate was valued at approximately $15 million, not including the family home and vacation properties. Then he picked up a single sheet of paper. The codicil, witnessed by myself and Dr. Martin Shaw, Richard's physician, adds the following provision. He cleared his throat and read. In the event that my eldest daughter, Vanessa Julia Cole, is excluded from any official family documentation, including but not limited to obituaries, funeral programs, or death notices, the following shall take effect. All previous bequests are null and void. The entirety of my estate, including all properties, investments, and personal effects, shall pass to Vanessa Julia Cole, with the exception of statutory minimums required by law for my spouse. The room exploded. This is insane. Catherine shrieked. He wasn't in his right mind. That little bitch manipulated him. I never spoke to him, I said quietly. Not once in 25 years. The codicil includes a competency evaluation from Dr. Shaw. Mr. Brennan continued calmly. Richard was of sound mind and quite specific in his instructions. He also left this letter for Vanessa. He handed me an envelope. My name was written on it in handwriting I didn't recognize, because I'd never seen my father's writing before. Inside was a single page. My dear Vanessa, if you're reading this, then Catherine has done exactly what I expected. Erased you from my death as she erased you from my life. I let her do it while I lived, to my eternal shame. I won't let her do it in death. I've watched you from afar, every graduation, every achievement, every moment I should have been there for. You became extraordinary not because of me, but in spite of me. Your mother raised a remarkable woman, and I was a coward who didn't deserve to know you. The money isn't an apology. Nothing can apologize for abandoning you. It's justice. Catherine cost you a father. She doesn't get to profit from it. Be happy, my daughter. You always were the best of me. Richard. I read it twice, tears I didn't expect blurring the words. When I looked up, Bradley was on his feet, rage distorting his features. This is bullshit. You can't steal our inheritance. I'm not stealing anything, I said. I didn't ask for this. Mr. Brennan, Catherine's voice was deadly calm now. We'll be contesting this. Richard was obviously coerced. By whom? Mr. Brennan asked mildly. Miss Cole hadn't spoken to him in decades. There's no evidence of contact, no money trail, nothing to suggest undue influence. However, there is this. He pulled out another document. Richard kept a file of every email you sent him, Mrs. Cole, insisting that Vanessa never be acknowledged. Every threat to divorce him if he contacted her. Every demand that she be excluded from family events, announcements, and documents. You created quite the paper trail demonstrating your intentional exclusion of his child. She's not his real child. Amanda protested. She's just what? I asked. The product of an affair. Still his daughter. Still excluded from his obituary at your mother's insistence. Mr. Brennan continued reading. The statutory minimum for Catherine was the house and $500,000. Everything else, the investments, the vacation homes, the business interests, the art collection, came to me. Roughly $14 million in assets, plus properties in Aspen and Martha's Vineyard. There's one more thing, Mr. Brennan said. Richard established a shadow trust 25 years ago, funded annually but never disclosed in family finances. It's been managed separately, growing substantially. That trust, worth approximately $8 million, was always designated for Vanessa, regardless of the will's other provisions. My head spun. This man I hadn't spoken to since kindergarten had been planning for decades to make things right. Not by being a father, but by ensuring his real family couldn't erase me after his death. This won't stand, Catherine hissed. I'll spend every penny fighting this. With what funds? Mr. Brennan asked politely. Your personal assets are limited to the statutory inheritance. The family accounts are frozen pending estate distribution. The truth hit the three of them simultaneously. Catherine had never worked, living off Richard's wealth. Amanda was a freelance photographer funded by Daddy's money. Bradley worked for one of Richard's companies in a position created for him. Without the inheritance, they had nothing but the house and $500,000. Comfortable, but not the lifestyle they'd known. You did this. Catherine turned on me, her composure finally cracking completely. You've been planning this, waiting for him to die. I was planning to get Thai food tonight and watch Netflix with my dog, I said. I didn't even know he remembered I existed. We'll prove you manipulated him, Bradley threatened. We'll hire investigators, find evidence. Bradley, Amanda said quietly, staring at me. Look at her eyes. She has Dad's eyes. The room went silent. I did have Richard's eyes. The same unusual green with gold flecks. Amanda had them too. We looked at each other, two daughters who'd never been allowed to be sisters. I'm sorry, she whispered. I didn't know about you. Mom always said Dad had been married before, briefly, no children. I didn't know. Shut up, Amanda, Catherine snapped. No. Amanda's voice grew stronger. We excluded our sister from Dad's obituary, his child, my sister, and you made us do it. She is not your sister. She's nothing but a mistake. A mistake who just inherited everything. Bradley said bitterly. Great job, Mom. Your pettiness cost us $14 million. As they turned on each other, Mr. Brennan gestured for me to step outside. In the hallway, he handed me another envelope. Richard left instructions for me to give you this privately, he said. Inside were photographs. Dozens of them, all taken from a distance. My college graduation. My first day at my own firm. My 30th birthday dinner with friends. A life documented by a ghost of a father who couldn't be there but couldn't look away. The last photo was recent. Me at a coffee shop, laughing at something on my phone, Max beside me. On the back, in that same unfamiliar handwriting. You got your mother's smile. I'm glad. I stood in that hallway, holding evidence of a father's distant love and guilty conscience, while his real family imploded in the conference room behind me. The money was surreal, but the photos, knowing he'd been there, watching, caring from afar, that was what broke me. Mr. Brennan gave me a moment before speaking again. There's considerable paperwork to complete, but I should warn you, they will contest this. It could get ugly. Let them, I said, wiping my eyes. I've been erased for 30 years. What's a little more family drama? I went back into the conference room to find Catherine on the phone with her lawyer, Bradley sulking in a corner, and Amanda sitting alone, looking lost. When she saw me, she stood up. I know you don't owe us anything, she said quietly, but I'd like to know my sister, if you're willing. Catherine whirled around. Amanda, don't you dare. What are you going to do, Mom? Disown me too? Oh wait, I don't have an inheritance to lose anymore. I looked at Amanda, really looked at her. She had our father's eyes but our mother's kindness in them. Maybe something could be salvaged from this mess after all. Coffee sometime, I offered. You can meet my dog, but your mother and brother stay away. Deal, she said quickly. As I left the law office, $14 million richer and one sister closer to whole, I thought about Richard's letter. He called me the best of him, but he was wrong. The best of me came from my mother's strength, her refusal to let bitterness poison my life, her insistence that I build my own path. The money would help others now. My mother's environmental law clinic, scholarships for kids like I was, maybe even turning one of those vacation homes into a retreat for single mothers. Richard's wealth could finally do some good instead of maintaining Catherine's Botox and Bradley's entitlement. But first, I was going to buy the fanciest Thai food in Chicago and share it with Max while we watched Netflix. Because even instant millionaires need to keep some things normal. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. This is Amanda. Thank you for giving me a chance. P.S. Mom fainted again when she realized she can't afford her country club dues. Bradley is Googling how to contest a will on his phone. I'm looking at apartments. I smiled, texting back. Thai food tonight. My treat. Literally everything is my treat now. For the first time in my life, being Richard Cole's daughter felt like a blessing instead of a burden. It just took him dying and leaving me everything for us both to finally acknowledge I existed. Karma, delivered by certified mail with a notarized signature.